And in tonight's regional news, coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, a beach gardener is expected to appear before a Rio Claro magistrate charged with the 2010 murders of Chantel Bayer and her boyfriend, Javon Ferris Murray. Investigations into the double murder were recently reopened, which resulted in the arrest of the accused at his home a week ago. Rishi Jawahir, 42, of Kanapau Main Road Beach, was also charged with possession of firearm and possession of ammunition. Bayer, 16, of Tunapuna, and Murray, 20, of Beach, were walking along Kanapau Main Road Beach on June 19, 2010, when they were approached by a gunman who shot and killed them both. Still in Trinidad, a truck driver was awarded $170,000 plus interest after he was wrongfully arrested and detained by police in 2015. On June 15, 2015, Dipchand Samnarayan was awakened at his home at number 13 Maharaj Trace, St. Mary's Village, South Urupuchi, and taken into custody by 5 police officers in relation to a container with soft drinks he delivered from SM Jalil and Companies Limited, South Urupuchi, to a mini-mart in Aruca. Dipnarayan then spent over a week in jail until he was released on June 22, 2015, without being charged. He claimed that during that time, he was not able to see any family members nor obtain legal representation during the period of his detention, despite his repeated requests. He claimed he was told by the police that the container he transported to the east was stolen from SM Jalil and that someone in the east asked the employees of SM Jalil to steal the container for the purpose of packaging and trafficking drugs to the United States. Justice Joan Charles ruled on Friday the arrest and detention of the claimant in circumstances where there was no reasonable basis to ground a suspicion that he did anything other than drive a trailer to which a container was affixed in the course of his employment must be condemned. A citizen must not be deprived of his liberty, and certainly not over such a long period, without any reasonable or probable cause. She added that the officer who led the investigation did not make a minimal inquiry to provide a reasonable basis for his suspicion that the claimant was a part of a joint enterprise or conspiracy to steal a container for the use in the export of or trafficking in drugs before arresting him. There was no verification that the container was stolen from SM Jalil or whether the latter company had retained Ramdas Transport to provide a driver and trailer to deliver a container to the mini-mart in Arima, which was critical information needed before arrest of the claimant on the June 15, 2015, or his continued detention after June 16, 2015. Colombia and Peru yesterday called on the international community to commit more aid to help them cope with an influx of around 2 million Venezuelans who have migrated to the two countries in recent years. Duque warned that migration would likely continue to increase if Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro remains in power. Colombia and Peru have so far received the majority of the estimated 3 million Venezuelan migrants who have fled their homeland since 2015, as the country's economy has imploded. Colombia and Peru are facing the worst migratory crisis that Latin America has seen in its recent history, Colombian president told journalists during a visit to Lima alongside Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra. Vizcarra said the international community had not yet grasped the magnitude of the challenge facing the two developing countries and said he would bring up the issue in global forums until more aid was provided. Last month, Peru started to deport groups of Venezuelans with criminal backgrounds. The United Nations has said Venezuelan migrants deserve protection as refugees and has urged states not to deport them. And finally, out of Barbados, a giant was laid to rest yesterday. That is how Harold Fitzherbert Hoyt, founder and editor emeritus of the Nation Publishing Company, was remembered by eulogist Elizabeth Thompson, Barbados ambassador to the United Nations. The official funeral was held at Wild League Gymnasium of the Garfield Sober Sports Complex and was attended by the Governor-General Dame Sandra Mason, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, and other members of the cabinet, dignitaries, wife Noraline, children Bobby and Tracy, and other relatives and past and present employees of the nation. During the 50-minute recount, Thompson evoked tears, laughter, and riotous smiles about a friendship that spanned more than 40 years, liberally sprinkled with the history of the company Hoyt co-founded with the late Sir Fred Gollop in 1973 with the help of others. There were also tributes in a song by the Royal Barbados Police Force Band and soloist Deborah Boyce. And that's all for tonight's regional news. I'm El Griffith reporting for HGP TV Nightly News.